Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Kelly Alderton, and I want to welcome you to the MS&Me Radio Network and my broadcast Live in Hope, Focus on Healing. And I'm so thrilled to be a part of the MS&Me Radio Network because I think this is an invaluable resource for the MS community at large. You can get plugged in online 24/7 and listen to many different interviews and stories about other people living with MS or ways to deal with your own MS and this journey. Now, my broadcast is titled Live in Hope, Focus on Healing, and I really try to dedicate my broadcast to ways to deal with MS naturally by giving you different theories and ideas and treatments, everything that can help you on your own journey living with and beating MS. Now, I've been living with MS almost 30 years. And in the very beginning, for the first 13 years, I stayed with traditional MS protocols that kept me sick and with no quality of life. In fact, at one point, I was taking 2 to 3 naps a day, had chronic fatigue, aches and pains, and I was just miserable. In 2001, I actually turned to holistic and alternative therapies that I believe saved my life. And that is why I am such a proponent for doing things in a natural or organic or more holistic way to heal your bodies. Because what we know is we weren't born with MS. It's just our body telling us that something is off. So we have to get back in balance with our life. Now, we know our body is made to heal, our body is made to repair if we give it the tools to do so. Now, today I would like to talk about a few things that are really imperative for those of us living with MS to think about, and that is stress and our stress response and how we're going to deal with stress in a way that can be productive and proactive rather than reactive, so we don't have all of those issues and health challenges that are associated with stress. Now, a lot of you might be saying, well, stress, hello, of course we all have stress. We have more stress on us now than ever before as a whole in society, whether you have MS or not, because we're trying to do more, be more, have more, doing more things for other people. And in that aspect, it's almost been a perfect storm, and especially for an MS sufferer. When we think about it, you might be stressed about your diagnosis or the costs that are associated with it, or maybe are you going to get the support that you desire from your family and friends. And when we start to put all that together, the stress can be unbearable. The problem with stress and MS is that we know it could have detrimental effects to our health. It can cause us to have more symptoms. It can cause us to have new lesions. It can cause us to have a flare-up. It can cause us to have more illness. And so we have to be particularly mindful of stress, identifying it, and dealing with it in a more productive way. And everybody can be saying, oh, that's easier said than done. And I understand that. And I mean, I live in this life too, and I've been dealing with MS now for almost 30 years. But the alternative is that we're going to be sick all the time if we don't deal with it, if we don't learn key strategies to deal with stress in a positive and proactive way. And you can do that. You can deal with your MS in a positive and proactive way. There has been studies upon studies of how MS will be affected by stress. In fact, the University of Colorado School of Medicine found that MS patients who had, experienced an extremely stressful event were almost 4 times more likely to suffer a flare-up or an exacerbation. We also have another study done by the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry that found that people who experience serious adversity 6 months preceding their first onset of their MS symptoms. And isn't that interesting? Because when I think back to when I was diagnosed, I was having all kinds of stressors in my life. I was a senior in high school. I was having stress from, being able to graduate. It was coming up, stress with friends and family and boyfriends. And when you start to look at those stressors, it's a perfect storm to illness. And what had happened after I had those particularly stressful situations, months later is when I started to have my first symptoms of MS, actually, which was the chronic fatigue. I actually couldn't go to school for almost 2 weeks because I was so exhausted. Now, they didn't associate that to MS at the time, but now I know that was just the beginning of that journey to my diagnosis. They also did a study in the British Medical Journal, and they found the consistent association between stressful life events, and then the MS exacerbations. And we know this. We know how we feel when our bodies start to be stressed. When we're in a stressful situation, what happens to us? Well, our body goes into the fight or flight mode. Now, the body is a miraculous thing. Our bodies are meant to protect us. So we go in that fight or flight mode to do just that, to protect our bodies in that particularly stressful situation. The problem with the fight or flight mode, if you are in it for any length of time, that's when you can start have chronic health conditions. That's when you can start having illnesses. That's when you can have a flare-up, because your body was not made to stay in that fight or flight mode for a long period of time. It just wasn't. When we get in that fight or flight mode, our adrenaline goes up. You might feel like you have more energy. Your brain is firing on all cylinders. You can conquer anything. The problem is, again, when it's in a long time period, that's when you're going to start having those negative health effects. That's when you're going to start feeling exhausted. That's when you're going to start having stomach issues and things like that. I remember any situation maybe that was particularly stressful to me, yes, your body goes to work. It goes into that fight or flight mode to protect you. But after that situation was over, and I don't know if any of you out there can relate, I would feel like I ran a marathon. I would feel so exhausted. I would have to go to bed. My body was just saying, okay, shut down. It was like a crash and burn kind of feeling in my body. And that's just telling us how detrimental stress is to us. So we have to really focus on ways to heal. And I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Now, symptoms that you'll get from being in that stressful situation or in that constant stress mode is going to be chronic fatigue, headaches, stomach issues, IBS, diarrhea, constipation. All that goes into that a symptom of stress. You might have insomnia, trouble concentrating, moodiness. This all goes hand in hand with stress. Also, numbness and tingling. That could also be a symptom of your stress reaction. So we really have to focus on noticing when our body starts to have some of those symptoms, and then take a step back and learn how to deal with them in a more productive way. Now, are there ways to beat stress? Are there natural ways to deal with stress? Absolutely. And I'm all about natural healing, not turning to a pill or a drug to find relief from symptoms. And the great thing about it is we have tons of things we can do to heal our bodies in a natural way and to particularly beat stress. talk to a trusted friend, a loved one, or join a support group. I'm in many support groups on Facebook that are focused on natural healing, and it's a great place to go, and I can vent and just talk about different issues and really learn about MS in a positive and proactive way. You can practice deep breathing. You can dance. I love dancing. A lot of dancing done in my kitchen by myself. Listening to some tunes, that's a great distressor. You can pray or meditate. Both praying and meditation have shown such great benefits to de-stressing and lowering our cortisol levels and just getting us in the right mindset. Exercise, I like lifting weights. I like Pilates. You can also do yoga or weightlifting. I love weightlifting. I just feel empowered, and you can feel your body getting back into balance. You can feel your body getting back into alignment. You can watch a funny movie, get a massage. Massage benefits are so overwhelming as far as de-stressing our bodies. You can also read an uplifting book. Hypnosis has worked for people that have really been in chronic stressful situations. You can write affirmations or goals. I write positive affirmations constantly. Every day, in fact, I write positive affirmations, and they start off with, I am healthy and strong. I am a warrior. I am a conqueror. I am positive. I write out affirmations all the time. They keep your mind in the right mindset. The thing about it is we know what we think about, we bring about, and that is very apparent with our health. Don't think it's like something that's as far as, oh, it's just trying to be positive, or it's something that has to do with maybe personal empowerment, but it all goes hand in hand with our health. I often talk about the mind, body, spirit connection to healing. We have to focus on each of those areas if we want to beat MS. You can't just be eating healthy and exercising, then have poor relationships or have unhealthy relationships around you, because that will knock you down just as any of the other things will, like unhealthy diet or not exercising. So we really have to think about a whole body approach to our healing. You can also get into nature. Oh, I love earthing or grounding when you go outside and you're bare feet on the grass, or you can do this on the beach, or you can do this on wet concrete. Just getting your connection back to the earth is so empowering, and again, that's going to de-stress you. Play with a pet. I love my pets. I mean, they're so silly, the things they do. And you know what? There's nobody they like more than you, the pet owner. So that's somebody that's always going to be there to support you. So get with a pet. Another great thing you can do is just smile. Smiling causes you to get into a different mindset. It's almost a shift, if you will, when you start to smile. And laughter is really the best medicine. It is, when you're feeling down or you're feeling stressed, what can you do to start laughing? Get with someone funny. Do you have a funny friend? My BFF is hysterical, and we laugh together nonstop. And that is so not only empowering, but it's cathartic. It's a health benefit, not only to myself, but to other people around us, if we're always laughing and having a good time. And I know my friends and my family are supportive of me. Are your family and friends, are those relationships serving you? You have to think about that on this journey with MS, because if they're not supportive, that is going to be another stressor just put onto you. And so you really have to think about having those healthy relationships. Now, it's important not to negate your feelings of stress or anxiety or depression. Again, because these are things that we will deal with on a daily basis, no matter what's going on with your health. You need to have someone there that can help you and be your backbone and support you. And again, that's going to lessen your stress. That's going to let you know, okay, I can handle anything that comes at me. And I want you also on this journey to dealing with your MS, just take 100% responsibility for your care. Know that you can deal with your MS, because this is your life. You only have one go around here. I implore you to investigate everything to heal your body. And stress is a major culprit of challenges for our MS. Now, another great tool we have for fighting stress are stress fighting foods. I really want to say, look at your diet. Is it a low fat diet, or is it packed with processed, high saturated fat foods? All these things are going to affect your stress levels as well. If you're eating a lot of sugar, that can make you more stressed. If you're eating a lot of red meats and things like that are going to tax your body and cause you to become off balance, that can cause more stress on your systems. But look at some stress fighting foods, and there are plenty of them. Wild caught salmon is a good one. We have avocados. I love avocados. I try to eat one a day. Spinach is another great green. Even by just adding some more greens to your diet, that's going to help your stress and your whole body and really get down to helping your system on the cellular level. We have asparagus or nuts. I mean, it's so easy now to just grab a handful of nuts, healthy nuts that are going to help your body. Blueberries, oatmeal, green tea, oranges. We have flaxseed or flax oil. Flax oil. I actually put flaxseed in my oatmeal every morning. We also have dark chocolate. Make sure that the cocoa amount is over 70%. And look for foods that are organic. Look for foods that are without GMOs, that are without additives like MSG or aspartame, which we know are known triggers for MS symptoms. See, when you start to look at your life with MS and things that are going to affect you negatively or positively, you have to understand the correlation of stress and MS. We know we can heal our bodies. We know we can fix what's going wrong, but we have to really understand the mechanisms behind it. So that is the de-stressing, that is doing the things to lower our cortisol levels and to really get us out of that fight or flight mode. Because again, our bodies were not meant to be in that state for any long time. I'm so fascinated nowadays that we have so many ways to naturally deal with our MS. And you have to really start looking around you at not only your diet, but your environment. How can you lessen toxins? How can you lessen stress? How can you get around people who are going to be more supportive? And I really want to tell you, on this journey, and mine has been almost 30 years now, every day is a learning experience. But I want to implore you, please live in hope, focus on healing, and know that you can beat MS. Just focus on doing things the right way. Remember, we weren't born with MS. It's just our body's way of telling us there is something off and we have to deal with it. I want to again say thank you for everybody joining the call. You can check out my book called Waking Up from MS, My Journey to Health, Healing, and Living Symptom-Free on Amazon. You can also connect with me on Facebook. That's at Waking Up from MS or Kelly Alderton. And I look forward to bringing you further information and ways to deal with and beat MS every day. God bless.